My friends, I stand before you today to discuss a subject that has stirred the hearts of humanity since the dawn of consciousness itself. It is a subject that transcends the boundaries of race, creed, and nationality. It is a question that whispers to us in our quietest moments and roars through our minds in times of greatest triumph and deepest despair. That question is this: does the soul live on beyond the grave? I tell you now, with absolute conviction born from years of study, observation, and deep contemplation, that the soul is indeed immortal. This is not mere wishful thinking or blind faith. It is a truth that reveals itself to those who dare to look beyond the material world and recognize the infinite power that dwells within every human being. Today, I invite you to open your mind to possibilities that may challenge everything you have been taught to believe. I ask you to consider evidence that exists all around us in nature, in the accomplishments of great men and women, and within the very fabric of your own consciousness. What I am about to share with you has the power to transform not only how you view death, but more importantly, how you live your life from this moment forward. The first principle we must understand is this: the universe operates according to immutable laws, and nothing in nature is ever truly destroyed. It merely transforms. Look around you at the natural world, and you will see this truth demonstrated everywhere. Consider the water that flows through our rivers and streams. Does it disappear when it evaporates into the air? No, it transforms into vapor, rises to the heavens, and returns again as rain. The same water that quenched the thirst of ancient civilizations flows through our bodies today. Consider the mighty oak tree that falls in the forest. Does it cease to exist? No, it becomes nourishment for the soil, which feeds new life, which grows toward the sun in an eternal cycle of transformation. Science itself confirms this principle through the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another. If this is true of mere physical matter and energy, how much more must it be true of the human soul? That magnificent force which animates our bodies, drives our ambitions, creates beauty from nothing, and conceives ideas that reshape the world. Think of the great composers whose music still moves us to tears centuries after their physical forms return to dust. Think of the inventors whose ideas continue to serve humanity long after they departed this earthly plane. Think of the teachers, the leaders, the parents whose influence ripples through generations they will never meet in physical form. Are these merely memories, or are they evidence of something far more profound, the continuation of consciousness in a form beyond our physical senses? Your own daily experience provides evidence of this eternal nature. Every night when you sleep, you enter a state where time and space lose their meaning. In your dreams, you travel to places you have never been, speak with people long deceased, and experience events that have not occurred in physical reality. Yet these experiences feel real to you. Your consciousness continues to function even when your physical body lies still and unconscious. If your awareness can exist independent of physical action during sleep, does it not suggest that consciousness itself is not bound entirely to the physical form? Consider memory itself, that remarkable faculty that allows you to recall events from decades past with vivid clarity. Where do these memories reside? Not in your physical brain alone, for the cells of your body are completely replaced every 7 years, yet you retain memories from your childhood. Your memories, your personality, your essence. These are not material things that can be measured and weighed. They are manifestations of the soul, that eternal spark that makes you uniquely you. The second great truth I wish to impress upon you is this: the soul's immortality is demonstrated through the persistence of thought and desire beyond the limitations of time and circumstance. Every great achievement that has ever blessed humanity began as nothing more than an intangible thought in someone's mind. Yet these thoughts possessed power far greater than armies, treasures, or kingdoms. They transform reality itself. Consider desire, that burning, persistent force that drives humanity forward. Where does desire come from? Why does the human heart yearn for things beyond survival? Why do we hunger for beauty, truth, justice, and love? Why do we sacrifice comfort and safety to pursue dreams that may not be realized in our lifetime? Because the soul knows something the conscious mind often forgets: we are eternal beings, and our true work extends far beyond the brief span of our physical existence. Think of the inventor who works tirelessly on a creation that the world is not yet ready to receive. Think of the artist who creates masterpieces that will not be appreciated until long after death. Think of the parent who makes sacrifices today so that their children's children might live in a better world. What drives such behavior if not an unconscious understanding that our influence extends beyond our physical years? The soul knows that the work we do today plants seeds that will bloom in gardens we may never see with physical eyes. History is filled with examples of individuals who faced death with courage and even joy because they understood this truth. The martyrs who died for their beliefs did not view death as an ending but as a transformation. The soldiers who sacrificed themselves for their comrades did not believe they were losing everything, but rather giving everything for something greater than themselves. The elderly who approach death with peace and wisdom do not fear the end, because they sense in the deepest part of their being that it is not an end at all. But here is where this truth becomes deeply practical and immediately applicable to your life. If the soul is immortal, then every action you take, every thought you think, every word you speak has eternal significance. You are not merely living a brief, meaningless existence between two voids of nothingness. You are an eternal being having a temporary physical experience. And what you do with this experience matters infinitely. This understanding should fill you with both tremendous responsibility and limitless possibility. It means that your failures are not final, your setbacks are not permanent, and your potential is not bound by the limitations of flesh and time. It means that the love you give, the knowledge you share, the beauty you create, and the good you do continues to ripple outward through eternity, touching lives and transforming reality in ways you cannot fully comprehend. When you grasp this truth, truly grasp it, you begin to live differently. You stop sweating the small things because you recognize them for what they are, temporary conditions that have no power over your eternal essence. You begin to focus on what really matters, developing your character, serving others, pursuing truth, creating beauty, and contributing something of lasting value to the world. You begin to live not just for the moment, but for eternity. The third and perhaps most important principle is this: you have within you right now the power to experience your own immortality through the development of your consciousness and the exercise of your infinite potential. You do not need to wait until physical death to know that you are an eternal being. You can experience this truth today through the expansion of your awareness and the deliberate cultivation of those qualities that connect you to the infinite. What are these qualities? They are love, creativity, wisdom, courage, compassion, and purpose. These are not mere emotions or temporary states of mind. They are expressions of your eternal nature. When you love deeply, you transcend the boundaries of your individual self and connect with something infinite. When you create, you participate in the fundamental creative force that animates the universe. When you pursue wisdom, you align your consciousness with eternal truth. When you act with courage, you demonstrate that you are not bound by fear of death or loss. When you show compassion, you recognize the divine spark in others and in yourself. The development of these qualities is not just noble or moral, it is practical preparation for immortality. You are building the consciousness that will continue after your physical form is gone. You are strengthening the eternal aspect of yourself through every choice you make and every habit you cultivate. Just as an athlete trains their body for competition, you can train your soul for eternity. But here is the magnificent truth that should set your heart ablaze with enthusiasms. This preparation for immortality is the very thing that makes your present life meaningful, joyful, and successful. When you live as though your soul is eternal, you paradoxically begin to experience life more fully in the present moment. You stop clinging desperately to material things because you know they are temporary. You stop fearing death because you understand it is merely a transition. You stop living in anxiety about the future because you trust in the eternal unfolding of your journey. Think about those moments in your life when you felt most alive, most yourself, most connected to something greater than your individual existence. Perhaps it was when you fell in love, or witnessed the birth of a child, or stood before the majesty of nature, or accomplished something you once thought impossible, or lost yourself completely in creative work, or experienced a moment of profound insight that changed everything. In those moments you touched immortality. You experienced yourself as the eternal being you truly are. These experiences are not rare accidents. They are glimpses of your true nature. They are proof that you are not merely a body that will one day die, but an infinite consciousness having a temporary physical experience. And the more you cultivate these experiences, the more you live from this eternal perspective, the more your present life becomes a reflection of heaven itself. Now, I must ask you directly, how will you live differently with this knowledge? Will you continue to waste your days worrying about petty concerns and accumulating material possessions that you cannot take with you? Or will you begin today to invest in the eternal, in relationships, in growth, in contribution, in the development of your character and consciousness? The choice is yours, and it is a choice you make not once, but every single day, with every single action. You are building your immortality right now, in this very moment. The question is not whether your soul is immortal, it is. The question is what kind of immortality you are creating. Will you leave behind a legacy of love, wisdom, and contribution? Or will you squander your precious time on earth chasing shadows and fearing death? My friends, I stand before you today with the absolute conviction that death is not the end, but merely a doorway to the next phase of our eternal existence. But more than that, I stand before you with the profound belief that this knowledge, properly understood and applied, has the power to transform your life today. You are not a powerless mortal awaiting inevitable destruction. You are an eternal soul, temporarily clothed in flesh with unlimited potential and infinite time to develop it. Live accordingly. Love deeply. Create boldly. Serve generously. Learn continuously. And know with absolute certainty that the best is always yet to come, for you are immortal, and your journey has no end, only endless new beginnings.